Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? This right here is the 2023 Hyundai Elantra N, and I'm gonna show you guys why I think this is worth it over the Volkswagen GTI. Alright guys, so just to give you guys context, this one costs $35,000. The Volkswagen Golf that I just reviewed, the GTI, is the S-Trim, and that one costs around $31,000. So there's a $4,000 difference between the two that I've just experienced. But even if you look at the Autobahn trim, which I've looked at and I've looked at reviews on, I still think this one is the better value proposition. It just does so many things for the price. So let's get straight into it. Starting with the design, up front you do get the very aggressive, very loud, and not for everyone front end. And it does look very, especially in this white, it stands out a lot. That black really pops, and that black front grille, the N badging right there, which looks great. You get a nice front splitter right here with the red accents. Vortex generators, I don't know how functional that is, but it looks cool. And then vents along the side, which are functional, as you guys can see there, but this isn't. So you do get LED headlights up here, but there are additional lights down there for your turn signals, your side reflectors, and then going up top, you do see there are pretty aggressive lines in the hood that go all the way into the bumper right here, and then some that go along the side and into the A-pillars right there. Looking at the wheel and tire setup, this is running on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, the same tires that are on the Honda Civic Type R from the factory. These ones measure 245/35 R19s, so it's a really aggressive tire package, nice wheel package. I think it looks good, and you get performance brakes sitting underneath the wheels. So nice wheel and tire package, can't complain with that at all. It does look like an Elantra from the side though. Not much has changed with the exception of the side skirt. With the exception of this side skirt, which you have that N badging that goes all the way across with the red accent right there. Looks nice, definitely adds to the aggressive stance of it. You have the nice body lines, which are on the Elantra. That's not new, we've seen that before. Get nice little accenting right here. They're very, very strong, very loud design features to this vehicle. Even going around the back, look at all the angles to it. It looks cool, especially in the white. You really see it through the shadows a lot. Coming on the back, you do get an actual spoiler, because guys, even front-wheel drive cars can benefit from downforce. Believe it or not, putting grip to the rear wheels helps, and they've done that. So you do get a nice rear light bar that starts on the edge and goes all the way across. Elantra lettering. This is your button for your trunk, your M badging, and then the great dual-tipped exhaust system, which sounds amazing. And I'll actually put this on the ground. We'll do some revs in a little bit once we fire it up. But let's open up the trunk here, because compared to the GTI, you don't get a lot of trunk space. Oops. You don't get a lot of trunk space, and it's pretty evident with this, the basic flooring. You don't even get a flat tire, and to be honest, guys, that would suck, because if you do get a flat, you can't patch it. You're kind of just having to tow it to a shop. Where you do get something in the GTI, and then because the GTI is a hatch, you get different proportions, more, I feel like, simpler design of the back, but you also get a lot more of a larger of an access to this trunk. This one does have cross bracing because it prioritizes that performance and that structural rigidity over practicality. I can pull the seats down with these two levers, but I won't get any large volume because it gets broken up by the crossbeam. So just keep that in mind, guys. You are giving up some practicality because of the amount of effort they put in towards improving the structural rigidity of this vehicle. Let's open up the hood and talk about what you get with the powertrain. So I'll be honest, both the Volkswagen GTI, and like the Golf GTI and the Elantra N, both have pretty heavy hoods. They both have a prop rod. I'm not going to complain about that. It's not a big deal. Off the bat, aesthetically looking at it, you do get a engine cover on this. It says N, says turbo. It is nice. On the GTI, you don't. They removed it. You get bare. You can see the coils. You can see all the basically engine components up top. So going on to the performance of this, you do get a 276 horsepower turbocharged four-cylinder. It makes 289 pound-feet of torque. That is better in both departments than the Volkswagen Golf GTI. That makes 241 horsepower and 274 pound-feet of torque. So you're getting more performance. Yes, you're paying a premium compared to the one that I reviewed, but let's say you option them so that they're around the same price. You're getting objectively more performance out of this powertrain. They both have limited slip differentials hooked up to them. You are going to be putting that power down to the wheels. Not much of an issue. We'll start this up right now because this thing objectively sounds so much nicer than the Volkswagen Golf GTI. Yeah, if that doesn't convince you guys this thing sounds good, I mean, on throttle, when we get on drive, when we start actually driving this thing, you'll realize it sounds so much better when you really get on it. So with that, let's get into the interior, because the interior is interesting. It's got a lot of good and I think a lot of things that aren't good. So start with the door panels real quick. You get similar materials as the GTI, but you get this nice suede. We saw on the GTI, this is just a bigger panel on the Elantra N. Nice perforation here, nice speaker integration up there, plastics and hard, materials. I mean, this is actually nice. Not hard, it's kind of an interesting texture to it. Bose speaker system, not as big of a cubby as you get on the GTI, but I mean, hey, it's a door and it's got switchgear on it. That works. Going on the seats, these are way more aggressive than even the plastic seats on the GTI. And they have suede inserts, very grippy, perforation here, leather all around the side with illuminated M badge. And I mean, guys, it looks kind of like what you see on like a BMW M3 with that illuminated M badge. So I think that's really cool. It is manually adjustable though, but these seats are very supportive, very performance oriented. So if you don't like that, you might not like this. They're not really focused on daily driving as much as, really sitting in it and wanting good grip. I like them though, but they're still good for longer drives. I haven't had too many issues driving this on longer trips, which I have. I've driven like over 200 miles in a weekend, did a weekend trip, and I had a great time in these seats when I drove the manual. This is the DCT automatic, but before we get inside, let's show you guys the aluminum pedals. Same thing as the GTI, you get that here, but you also get unique floor matting. That Golf didn't have that. This had Elantra N on it, and then you have your trunk and then your fuel cap. Nice N on the side sill. You didn't get that on the GTI. So I'm telling you, they just put a lot of things in this car that just make you feel special. That make you feel you're getting your money's worth, which is great. So getting inside here and starting to the left, you have this thing which represents nothing. I wish it was like a wireless magnetic plate like they did on the Ioniq 5, or like a wireless charger. But I'm sure you can mount your own thing and make something work here. That'd be cool. Vent, lights, traction control. Your light switch up here. Cool thing is, if your lights aren't on, let's say you don't have the auto setting on and it's dark, it'll tell you that your headlights aren't on, which is really cool. So hit auto and you should be chilling. You won't have that alert ever. So go on the steering wheel. Unlike the GTI, you get physical tactile buttons. They all work, but you get some additional buttons because it's the N. You get this N button and you get this N button. And you have NGS, which is N grin shift, which gives you 20 seconds of overboost basically. Let's start this thing up and get into it. If I hit N, I can get into N mode, but I can also get into custom 1, and if I press this one, I get into custom 2. So that's kind of what those buttons do, and then you can customize those in your settings whenever you'd like. N grin shift is 20 seconds of overboost, like I mentioned earlier, and going on the digital gauge cluster, it is customizable depending on the drive mode you are in. So we can go into N, standard, N, custom. But there should be, hold up, where is, I think you have your drive mode button right here. Press that and you get into your regular, normal, sport, eco, and then you can go into N, standard, N custom 1, and standard, or N custom 2. So to customize those, we'll show you that real quick. It's kind of like BMW's drive setup. You have your custom settings, engine, steering, suspension, transmission, your ELSD, your electronically limited slip differential, stability control, and exhaust sound, and you can customize those. I like the heavy steering on this. The Volkswagen was really light. So yeah, N mode, you tap on that and you get a whole throttle, power, brake pressure, turbo, PSI, all your custom settings, G meter. You can slide over and you have your different settings for custom. It's such a cool interface. It feels like a video game, guys. I like activate launch control. You just tap in and it's activated. You have performance options here. You can set your launch control, your shift lights, your N power shift, N track sense shift, automatic creep on or off. Like it's the amount of control, even with the DCT, the amount of control you get is insane. It's like I'm honestly impressed. I believe there's also an active sound. Where is it? There you go. Active sound design. This is pretty cool. You can have it make a large change. I feel like I didn't notice when I was in the manual. Didn't notice the difference between small, moderate. There's on or largest or off. Rally. You can make it sound like the rally car, the TCR race car, high performance and sporty. I didn't notice too much difference when experiencing those, but we'll experience just the N mode sounds when we get on it. But other than that, it's standard 12.5 inch, 12 and a quarter inch standard Hyundai displays with media, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's wired, and then your digital gauge cluster here, which we already showed you guys. Right below here, all your media controls, volume knob, AC controls that are physical, which is great. Unlike the GTI, which had tactile buttons, and everything was on this 8-inch touchscreen. You get a nice big touchscreen, and you have everything on it, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to complain about that. But this has USB A, not USB-C ports. One for data and then one for charging. So, and it is wired Apple CarPlay. Keep that in mind. 12 volts over here. Ventilated wireless charger, and then a cubby next to it. It's nice and textured, so you get good grip on it, but also will not have your phone get too hot, which is nice. You have your park assist button right here, which gives you your camera. Similar quality to the GTI, nothing crazy there. But again, it'll automatically activate if I get into reverse with your projection lines that give you trajectory. And that's nice. Get back into park here. But going to the gate, you can get plus, minus, but like honestly, I've been using the paddle shifters. Your handbrake is kind of rubbery. It's nothing too premium. Gets the job done. A little cubby here for your cup holder. Nothing crazy there. Piano black, not ideal. This plastic, I'm not a fan of personally. If you're touching it, you'll get annoyed with it. If you're not touching it, you'll never really think about it. You get a center console which has storage space, and that's fine. It's not an armrest though, not like an extended armrest like the Golf GTI. But overall, the experience in this cabin I feel like is way more driver focused than the GTI. So just keep that in mind. As far as your sunroof, it's simple, and then you have your controls here to control that. Lights aren't fancy touch; they're just buttons. They work. They're not touch sensitive like the GTI was. So yeah, that's the interior in a nutshell, guys. We went through a lot because this thing has a lot, but I like it. I really do. I think they did a good job with this interior. And yeah, let's hop into the back seats. Getting to the back seats, you get similar treatment with the suede, the materials, the plastics, and stuff like that. These back seats have the same suede, leather, black seat belts. Nothing crazy there. No door back pockets that were cleverly done on the GTI. You do not get that here, so just keep that in mind. Nothing in the back as far as vents like you do in the GTI. No USB ports, so it's not as, let's say, practical. I mean, we have to say practical because it's not as practical. You don't even get a center cup holder like you do on the GTS. So this is really like, it'll fit people. And then if you want more, you shouldn't get this car. That's just, I think it's not, and I don't think that's in a bad way. I say this in like, really shouldn't expect too much because that money is going to other parts of the car. Like you get a lot of other stuff in exchange for that. And that's where I feel like when I was saying in the GTI video, which if you guys want to check that out, that will feel like grow with you a lot more than this. This you're getting a lot. You're getting a very like strong personality vehicle, and ultimately that comes with some sacrifices, but I feel like it's worth it because it's so strongly opinionated, and you have to respect that. So with that, let's take this thing out on a drive. All right, getting inside the Elantra N with the DCT. I've driven the manual earlier. I didn't do a long video on it, unfortunately, but I experienced it for a full week and I had a great time in it. So I'm very familiar with this car. I'm not entirely familiar with the DCT. I've driven the DCT Veloster, so have familiarity with the DCT in general, if that makes sense. So let's get into it. Right now we're in normal mode. I do want to be in N mode, which lights up everything. And then we're gonna turn on the NGS, the N grin shift technology. Oh, you can already hear the peppers starting to be popped. I'm excited for this. We're gonna get on straight into N grin shift. I don't care. We got 20 seconds. Let's start. Oh, the pops are so good. Downshifted on its own just to give me some pops, but I gave it a little bit at the same time, and it kind of worked out. It's like he's your teammate, Mr. NGS. Let's get the manual mode here. In second gear here, we'll make a turn with some momentum. I love how stiff the steering is. It pushes you to the next gear, and you get off of it, but you want to get back on it, so you can let it pop some more, and then some more pops. It's so good. This is why people like when a company bets on personality. Like, the personality of the car is going to make you love it, whether you were ever interested in that personality or not. Because if you're not going to like it, you're going to respect that they took that risk, if that makes sense. And I think that's great. Let's go in the tunnel. That's the thing. Like, we're going to do a tunnel, guys. I love this DCT. This is great. Like, I had a lot of fun. slow down. Oh! This is so good. Oh my God. Okay, when you're up at like way too high RPMs, it won't do the pops. But man, we'll do an NGS. We'll do an NGS right here. Slow down. It's just too much fun. Like, where else could you get a car for this price, for 35 grand, that'll give you the amount of pops that you almost get in an Escalade V? Like, I don't know another car, automatic car, where you can just get the pops like that. So, and I like the stiffer steering. I literally just got out of the Volkswagen GTI. So, I think it's perfect that I got to see two cars that are within $4,000 of each other that, you know, that you could get within the same price. That one just had less options on it. And have this much fun. Oh! I just love that it lurches you forward into the next gear. There's a motion in the shift. Instead of a fast shift that's very like scientific, like, oh, optimal shift. You know, this is like, get in the next gear, like spanks you in the butt, like at a baseball game. You know, when you did something good, your coach will, no, we're not gonna talk about that. But like, damn, this is fun. This is very fun. Now I guess I have to ask myself, would I get the manual over this having driven this now? I would. Because this is faster. I mean, objectively speaking, it's faster. But like, we're talking, it's not in the realm where faster makes a difference in terms of the enjoyment. So I would still get the, you don't get NGS, you get rev matching. But it's good that that car has rev matching. I couldn't get rev matching figured out on the GTI if it didn't even have it. So the fact that you have that as an option is great. This dual clutch is also awesome. But I think I'd still get the manual. Because it is a good manual. There's nothing wrong with that manual transmission at all. You hear that turbo? Oh, it's like fudge. This is too much. I mean, I get why like I might get pulled over, dude. I saw the guy that got pulled over and like, you know, sorry for that guy because that sucks. But like at the same time, that's not his fault. That's not even the company's fault. It's more the authorities. Let's say that's all I know. I don't know too much about this situation or what ended up happening with it, but best of luck to that owner. And if you're getting something that attracts the attention from the authorities in that sense, but not in the sense of like you're breaking laws from like speed or doing anything dangerous, I feel like you did something right from a car design standpoint, in my opinion. Shifter's kind of funky though, not gonna lie. So, but yeah, that's gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.